Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. Now what are we working on today? We're going to be working again on Project Inchling. Yesterday we made some progress and got health, life path, as well as attributes done. Doesn't look like a lot, but it will be serving us going forward. Now we're going to be working on Trials and Tribulations, Combat Travel, and big ones. And I'm drinking some shitty beer because it's good. I enjoy it. Set my phone off to the side. It's been a busy day today. A lot of little things going on. Well, let's get started. Characters. We'll need threats and go against. The characters will need threats and problems to oppose them. To oppose them in their adventures. Whether it be from enemies, travel, enemies, problem, or the ever-present big ones. A character's life is rarely dull. Character's life is rarely dull. Combat. Let me just make sure everything looks right. Yep, cool. Ugh, goodness gracious. I don't know what happens. Sometimes when I just drink coffee or something, I get really tired all of a sudden. It'll take me like a solid 20-30 minutes after I drink it to get that second wind of energy. I have a bad tendency of actually falling asleep after I drink coffee, so it always bothers me. Alright, combat. How do I want to word this? Combat. War and conflict are an inevitable part of Inchling society. Inchling society, as well as the daily lives of Poketop. Whether fighting off large insects, or confronting a local mob, a character who is caught up in a fight for survival is in a fight will need to know how to get out alive. Initiative. Oof. Oh, Christ, that's my back. Intelligent society, as well as their daily lives, the daily lives of the Poketop. Okay. Fighting off large insects or confronting the local mob. Character will need the start of a combat. Well, let's play the game of Project Folder Dice. What has the best system I'm looking for? We'll do standard issue. Standard issue. Science fiction. You didn't know you're gonna get a Rocky Horror karaoke show, now did you? We're going loud, combat. Each participating character will roll their... I'm going to be the most appropriate one. The intuition, probably. Roll their intuition. Roll their intuition. In descending order. Actually, I want to play it a little bit unique. You know what? Let's play it a little bit unique. Roll their intuition. Then each character will choose where they start in the fight. They may choose to start first, second, third, etc. Work. Because pretty much what I'm thinking of is you roll your intuition and then you kind of get to choose where you want to start rather than highest goes first, lowest, going down. So a character with really high intuition can say, you know what? I'm going to wait for what they do. I don't want to do with this. I don't want to deal with anything going on at this time. Or a character with really low intuition is kind of going to be put into their situation that they don't really have an option for. It's you're going to be stuck in that position. If you roll really low, everyone's already going to pick where they are going, and you just kind of have to accept it. Be like, okay, I'm going first now. I have no idea really what the situation is. I don't know why everyone wanted to go first, but I'm the first one rushing into combat, and oh god, that's a giant monster wanting to rip my head off. Or, you know, I'm rushing straight in there. It also allows... yeah, combos? How do I want to word this? How do I want to word this? You could do away with initiative entirely. Traditional initiative anyway. You kind of need something like that to see who goes first. You know what? Determine who acts first. The attacker, the attacking force will always act first unless they are assaulting a location. Assaulting a location, which then the defending force would act first. Yeah, that works. Because you don't necessarily want to go first, because if you go first, you don't have you get stuck in the action versus reaction chain, where you may act first, but your acting first may make it so you can't really defend against anything else. I want to do that. I don't want to have defense rolls. That's a completely different question. No. I said before I don't really want to do that. I want to make it a little bit more, dare I say, nuanced. No, okay. The character with the highest intuition acts first. Then descend. and then descends from there. If two or more characters share the same intuition, all actions are resolved at the same time. Same time. I'm gonna need more inspiration juice for this. I am going to need a lot of inspiration juice for this entire thing, aren't I? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. All actions are resolved at the same time. Two or more party actions stuck in. It's pretty much how I want combat to be, is pretty much if character 1 attacks character 2, effectively they're stuck in with each other. They're fighting. They're clashing blades, trying to beat each other up. That's what they're doing. So it's kind of a more of a, how do I want to word this? It could go either way. You know, the first character may charge you with his sword, but you may just shank him in the kidney before he can really do anything about it. And then he's down and out, and there's nothing he can do about it because you stabbed a knife into his side. On the other hand, how do I want to do this? Because I can see how I want it to play. I can see sitting there at the table, dice in hand, and one player saying, okay, I charged the guy. And being like, okay, I roll my dice, you roll your dice. Okay, you got a higher one, you do damage. Versus my guy who doesn't do damage. That seems pretty simple. Why don't I just do that? Yeah, screw it. Actions. Attack. A character goes in. Actively begins to attack, assault, or attempt to injure another character. Now we're going to do melee. Both characters go through a opposed check. With the victor of the check dealing damage to the loser. Ranged. The attacker rolls their their bod versus the range of the defender. On a hit, on a success, the attacker deals damage equal to their weapon. Run away. A character tries to flee from the battlefield, ducking and weaving as they struggle to flee. They are engaged in a fight. Footnote: whether being shot at with a ranged weapon or in a melee battle, They must make an intuition check. Intuition versus, actually it'd be int versus bod opposed check to successfully disengage. You know what? Let's do a little bit of NEO Scavenger. We're looking at a game called NEO Scavenger. Now, NEO Scavenger is actually kind of an interesting game because it is strangely detailed in some respects and also very not detailed in others. But yeah, there we go. Let's see. Actions. When in combat, character has a number of actions they are able to perform on their turn. Actually, we should always put turns, rounds, and initiative. Every combat is split between rounds and turns. A round is the full amount of actions between all full amount is the full. Right, in combat it is easy, they said. Right, combat is always an interesting endeavor because you have a few conundrums with it. Because this is arguably the most important thing in some of these kind of games. And Project Inchling, it's not, I would call it the most essential part of the game, but I would definitely call it a necessary part. You take a game like D&D, for example. Most of the game design time went to making sure the combat worked flawlessly and to make it so it works. So when you're designing a game, you have to kind of put that in mind of what the core actions are going to be, of what's going to be the best way of performing in something. Mostly when it comes to something like combat, for example. Combat's hard because there's a lot of little factors you always have to think about. What attributes are being used, what happens during these times, what skills can be used, can skills even be used in combat, what do weapons look like, what does armor look like, is there armor penalties, if there aren't armor penalties, what do you do from preventing people from tank suiting it up? Is you have a lot of little factors that go into combat. That's why I always try to spend as much time and kind of enunciate it as much as I can, because if you don't, someone will inevitably do something. I did that a few times with combat, a few other games, where I just assume something works the way it is, and it doesn't. Fun fact. It doesn't work that way, so I end up having to fix it later. Or fix it mid-game, which is never something you want to do, which is always a pain in the goddamn ass, because you don't really have time to think about it. So, wondering why I'm stuck so much on writing literally a sentence. It's because of that. One thing goes wrong and suddenly everything starts falling apart. Every combat by a split of 2 rounds of turns. A round is the... Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do turns and rounds. A turn is an individual character's action, while the round is every character's actions. A full round is often 6 seconds. 6 seconds in time. A full round is around 6 seconds. Seconds in time, and I'm going to put a footnote. As always, follow the narrative. Follow the narrative when it comes to these things. And a chase sequence. Actually, no. Is 6 seconds time. I actually got told that 6 seconds is probably the best because it's 10 rounds equal a minute. I thought about doing 10 seconds at 10 seconds so you get a little bit more room to maneuver around in, so it would be 6 rounds equal a minute, but 6 seconds kind of works better because it rounds up to 5s, and everyone talk to anyone and you will learn that 5 is a magical number in anything, because 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 5s are easy to understand. Everyone can kind of get 5s. But you start counting by 3s, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Like, you slow down because you have to take this like that microseconds to think about it a little bit more than 5, 10, 15. Or you get or God help you if you do by like 4s or something, or 7s. Ugh, did that once because I was a moron. It's like 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Like, that doesn't work. It may seem like it worked, though. Numbers are a reason. Numbers work for a reason. When in combat, counting the number of actions. These are split up between movement, offensive, movement, offensive, and defensive maneuver actions. Movement. Advance. Ding ding, hello, how are you? What do you need, phone? Are you telling me something? Oh no, Florida's on fire, but Florida's always on fire because it's Florida and no one likes that place. Just checking up on people. I'm a very professional streamer, I swear. I'm not. It's always funny. I was actually watching a few things on like professional streamers, and I always find it amusing how they operate. I don't get it. I'm just a dude who does things for fun. I'm out of inspiration juice. I might need to grab some more. Moves 1 space closer to the target. Charge. Character moves 1d3 spaces closer to the target. Closer to the target. Fall back. Character moves 1 space away from the target. Retreat actually fall back. Let's actually fall back. Yeah, retreat works. Retreat. The character moves 1d3 spaces away from the target. And we're going to do a run. The character moves 1d6 spaces away from the target. Is considered vulnerable. Vulnerable. Now we go offensive. Melee attack. Character moves into blind charge. Nature moves 1d6 spaces closer to the target. It is considered vulnerable. Actually, no, that's dumb. That's dumb. Melee attack. I'm talking to myself. That is the pulse-pounding, screaming experience that you come here for. Me slowly looking at a screen being just like, how do I do the math right? How do I math? Moves into attack with a melee weapon. Actually, character attacks with a melee weapon. I've always said this, but if you ever want to train yourself on how to find mechanics and things, play a video. Play a video game. Any game really works. And identify every single time you would make a roll for it. You know, I'm doing this with NEO Scavenger because I've done this before. And pretty much picture any game, really. I'll use... what's a game that I played recently? Obviously you can't do it with things like tycoon games. That's kind of hard, so I can't use Jurassic World Evolution because I've been playing that a whole lot recently. Oh, I know. Me and my friends started our Hammer Watch campaign up again, which has been pretty fun. We were up through it. And every single time we do something, you have to think about, what would I have to do to roll for this to do a thing? Now, some games, like Final Fantasy, the old school Final Fantasy, not the new ones, as the rolls there are hidden. They're usually behind the scenes. So, like in old Final Fantasy games, if Cloud wants to hit someone, he's rolling the dice and hitting it based on his stats. Now, mind you, we don't see those often. Even in games like Baldur's Gate, we don't really see the rolls unless you actually, I believe you can if you want to, but you don't really need to. But take, for example, Titanfall. Titanfall 2, a fun game I enjoyed quite a bit, is if you're zipping along, you ride along the wall, and then you see someone, that is a roll that you would have to make in-game. And what would you want to roll for it? So you're zipping along the wall. Would that be a roll? And you're going to shoot someone. Okay, I'm going to make a roll for it. Roll. And you have to factor in who's doing what. Are they defending against it? Can they defend against it? Are they not defending against it? Because things like shooters, often you will notice they don't have things like AC. And that's a kind of a foreign concept almost in games with a lot of guns in them. Because you can't really have that. Because the concept of an AC is kind of odd. But they have systems for cover or distance. So, using Titanfall again for an example. Sorry I'm going on this long tangent here, but I feel I'm using NEO Scavenger and I want to explain why. Is you have to understand what rolls are being made. So with Titanfall 2, to hit someone, I'm factoring in the range for one, the skill of the pilot, i.e. me, and I'm factoring in where they are. They're not behind any cover, I'm going a billion miles an hour, but I'm pretty good with my shots. And I am using an alternator, so I'm zipping along and hit, bang, and they're dead. I'm the only one who made a roll there. If I fucked up, I would have shoot around him or missed completely. That's what's the important thing about training your eye for mechanics. Because once you start doing that, you'll notice that you can see things a lot easier. And when things click together a lot nicer. And it also works the other way. If you ever want to test to make sure that your mechanics actually work properly, imagine it as a video game. What would be the behind the scenes? How do you envision what would the player be doing versus what the character in the game would be doing versus what other NPCs would be doing? And how many calculations would be needed to put behind there? There's a reason no one's ever made a Dwarf Fortress RPG before, because Dwarf Fortress RPG would be fucking insane. Because there's so many little mechanics that go into it. Or the fact that you have to simulate every body part. It's insanity. But you can do it because you've identified it. And that's half the fun. So, and you know I'm waxing philosophically about things. I mean, I need to grab something to drink, but I want to get the combat done first. Okay, let's see. Melee attacks with the melee. And oppose bod versus int check. Actually, oppose bod versus bod check to see. Actually, okay, all right. Deal weapon damage plus bod roll in damage. Melee surge. Character attacks the character. I would leave with a melee weapon 1d3 times. The attacker will deal weapon damage plus bod roll. The weapon damage times 3 plus actually bod roll in damage each attack is rendered vulnerable. And then we're going to have some tackle target. The character leaps onto their foe, trying to bring them around. An opposed check. An opposed bod versus bod check is required. Ding, ding, ding. Hello. Hello, phone. How are you? Do you need something? No, it's Duolingo telling me that I need to study today, even though I still have 2 hours until I have to worry about that. Because I am a lazy boy who don't need to worry about those things. Impose bod versus bod check it's called, with the loser being knocked to the ground. Defensive. Dodge. Character attempts to dodge out of the way of the next blow. Blow against them. They oppose an attack with their intuition. Their int. Their int versus bod. Oh, I should put that ranged attack. The character attacks with a ranged weapon. The attacker rolls their intuition or int die. Rolls their int. And attempts to strike their opponent. Rolls their int and attempts to hit their weapon's difficulty. So how I plan on doing ranged weapons, now that I think about it, is that a ranged weapon is going to have something called a difficulty on it. Pretty much how complicated it is to use. Crossbows are going to have higher difficulties, but they're going to be easier to do. But aiming reduces the difficulty, so if the more you aim, the easier it is for you to actually hit someone, versus just flying or shooting a shot real fast. Reload, shoot. Obviously, that's gonna be harder for you to hit someone. But if you're really good and it's a really low difficult weapon, you can keep doing it. But a low difficult weapon is like a sling. A sling's fairly easy. Load, rock, toss. While something like a crossbow, much more complicated to worry about. So I have to remember that. They oppose the next attack with their int, or add +5 to the difficulty of a ranged weapon. Parry. Attempts to parry their opponent's attack. They oppose the next attack with their bod. Party, not parry. No, parry. Die. The character dives out of the way, adding a +10 to the difficulty of a ranged weapon, but is considered to be on the ground. Actually adds +3. We'll make that a +6 to difficulty of the ranged weapon, but is considered to be prone. Actually, to be knocked down. Oh, what I can do is block. Character uses a tool Uses a tool to block the opponent's strike. Opponents. Oh, god damn it. And strike. Strike consuming one of the block charges. Negates all damage. Actually, I should add defensive and communications. Communication actions. Communication. Threaten. Character attempts to threaten an opponent. Roll an opposed check of bravado versus willpower. If successful, the loser's side reduces morale by 1. Surrender. The character attempts to demand the other force to surrender. If the morale is 0 or lower, it automatic attempts to demand the other force to surrender. Roll a BRB check. The target number. Targeto numero. Oh god. Okay, then from the force to surrender will be roll bravado check with the target forces. Morale plus size. Plus remaining forces as the penalty. Actually, I should say roll a Project Inchling. Roll a complex BRB check with offer. go. I don't know why music cut out there for a second. Yeah, I don't really need that. You may be wondering, why am I doing this? Because I know how Google Docs treats these things. We want heading 2, society 3. 4. I'm getting used to the piano in here. I don't actually play any instruments. I used to back in the day, but back in like high school, not much else. People have said I have a pretty decent sense of beat, though. I always try to find it. Always try to find the beat in anything. It's always fun. Even if it's just weird, something weird like a traffic light. Okay, where are we? Oh god, it's toasty. Combat states and effects. During combat, a character may find themselves in various states. States of mind or with problems associated with them. A character suffering from one of these states will have the penalty applied to them until they resolve the problem. The character hops. The character stands up from being knocked on the ground. Each character has one action to perform every round. Fallen. character has been tackled to the ground, or has fallen. While on the ground, they are only able to advance and fall back, or movement. Advance, fall back, or stand for movement. If a character is attacked while downed, the attacker gains plus 2d6 to strike. Which, you may be wondering, wow, 2d6 sounds like a lot. It is! It's really bad, actually. Oh yeah, vulnerable. Character who is considered vulnerable may not use a defensive action for their next action. Actually, who's considered vulnerable gives the opponent a plus 2d6 to strike them. Actually, what I can do is I'm going to take that out. We're going to do advance. Hustle. Character moves 1d3. The 3 spaces. 1d3 plus 1 spaces closer to the target. Character moves 1d6 plus 2 spaces closer to the target. He is considered vulnerable. They are only able to advance or movement. If a character's attack while down, the attacker gives the attacker a plus 2d6 to strike them. Morale. A group's morale is equal to their traveling morale. Or equal to their their collective willpower, will score. If a group every time a character is downed, their will is removed from the group. Group's total. Actually, what I should say, collected will scores. Every time a character of the group is injured, reduce morale by 1. Every time a character of the group is incapacitated, reduce morale by 3. Every time a character of the group is killed, reduce morale by 6. Yeah, no, morale is big. The score can be negative. One thing that I have also noticed about myself too is that I like to add rules that aren't necessarily, dare I say, in the game right away. They just kind of spring up when I'm writing. Like vulnerable. I didn't plan on adding in vulnerable or morale or anything like that to combat. It just kind of happened. I actually kind of like it. I think it's thematic. What I should say as a side note on senseless targets, on senseless enemies. Some enemies the Inchlings will encounter cannot be reasoned with or do not possess the intellect required to make conversation or properly surrender. If this is the case, ignore the morale rules. Effectively, if you're fighting a bunch of bugs, most likely they're not going to like break in formation and try to run away from you because they're bugs and they don't understand. Bugs may be smart, that does not mean that they're, brilliant 250 plus IQ. No, they're bugs. They do bug things. I should actually add, however, this does not mean that certain enemies do not have a sense of self-preservation. If they feel they are too injured, they will retreat. Let's actually add a footnote for the melee surge. If a character opts to use a defensive maneuver, defensive action, it negates all attacks by the surge. if they fail, they take all they take all the attacks. So pretty much the surge is kind of your, like, if you're feeling really confident and you just want to kill an enemy real fast, you surge at them. And what I should add is aim. Takes aim with a ranged weapon. Reducing the difficulty of the weapon by every turn aiming. And now we get to do the footnote. Do I have any footnotes? No. I have not forgotten any footnotes, which is a novel concept for me. I'm very bad about remembering whether or not they... I did that. Oh god, that's my ankle. Oh god. Ow. Ow. Breaking my ankle. I don't like it. I don't like it. Hum diddle hum diddle dum din dum hum diddle diddle dum diddle. Oh, wait a second. I should actually add the... Time to add in a fan favorite, otherwise known as space distance. Coco space distance. The close quarters knife there's where they are. Sweet. They are navigating through treacherous terrain. Oh, didn't mean to hit literally every single one of those buttons. I did not mean to hit, because I am a complete goddamn. Because I apparently huff glue. Oh god, OBS is like, oh god, no, please, what have you done? You've clicked buttons. Space distance. Control-Shift 8. There we go. I'm going to actually do a little bit of rewriting on space distance. Considered in spaces. A space is roughly considered to be around 5 inchling feet. Footnote: a foot for an inchling is more akin to a short hike for the rest of us. Actually, space would roughly be around 5 inches. Actually, 6 inches. A space is roughly considered to be around 6 inches. Certain objects or spaces, certain objects or locations may have a limited number of spaces available. An inchling, that space is available to occupy. Inchling takes up 1 space, while larger creatures may take up 2 to 6 additional spaces. A little bit of theater of the mind, but I think it works. And I'm finally, let's actually see how. Should I put equipment? No, I'm not going to put equipment right here. But what I am going to do is side note. No. No, damage can pretty much be explained in the equipment section. Because I already kind of go over what help looks like. I don't think I really need anything else here. Do I add something on health? No. I don't think I really need to. But that does bring us to travel. I'm actually traveling the world. A Poktal's duty is to explore the great wide world. Report back with any news and deliver key goods between settlements. The world, however, is a hostile one, uncaring for the lives and whims of its inhabitants. When making an expedition to another location, the characters will need to prepare, or they will face death in the face of the hostile world of this wonderful yet deadly world. Which brings me to pretty much me just take this, me copy pasting. I just need to check something real fast. Shit posting is what I do. Okay, that might be explaining why the connection's been kind of weird. I was deciding to play that video at 720p for some reason. There we go. And people are arguing about Discord. Because arguing about Discord is a fun and productive endeavor for everyone involved. It's not. Don't argue about Discord, folks. Nothing happens. Nothing good results of arguing with Discord. Wander over yonder, traveling the ways. Helen has no left map. No stamina, which is the skill and abilities. As well as moral threats and situations that may encounter on the travel, also has morale, which represents the general mood of the group. Time without food, water, failing to overcome challenges, or dragging the injured around reduces morale of the group. Morale penalty increases the amount of stamina expended for actions. Forcing the group to more supplies to survive at an increasingly dangerous location. Group morale starts if the group's morale starts the total will of the group. Each traveling companion, add +1 to the morale. Daily depression. Depression gain. +1. +2. +4. +6. Yeah, if you have 0 morale, you're all gonna fucking die. It takes like 4 days for you to just say, yep, life is hopeless, we have run out of food, we have run out of everything, I'm going to sit here and die right now because I'm a useless sack of crap. Each rest of the group consumes a piece of they may opt to half rations for -1 rations for -2 morale. They can go double the rations for +1 to morale along their journey. Situations. Expend only a part or none of, or none, part or none of, or part of, or no stamina, and suffer the consequence. Sample journey, I'm going to the group's stamina is equal to their combined intuition. Int, that would be bod plus int. Actually, the group stamina is equal to each character's bod or int, whichever is highest. Adding them all together. For each traveling companion, add +2 to stamina. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to gleefully mark this as, oh God, please rewrite this. Your little world. Feel free to adopt the map. Roughly speaking, a zone is around God, now this is going to be the tough part because I don't know how big you want this. Yeah, that's something I might have to work on. scale to 10. Going to navigate the problem accordingly. Play out a situation. Describe the characters spotting a few bandits up the road. Allow them to play out the situation, expending no stamina. Expending no stamina, if they so wish. Spending no stamina, but still dealing with the consequences of such an expedition. And what that entire line effectively says is, hey, yeah, you can let them play it out. If they get shanked and die, it's their problem, not, yours. I need to fix you. I might do this off stream just because it's going to be a lot of me looking at the numbers being like, oh god, the numbers, they don't work. Wander over yonder. Okay. Alright. I think I'm going to call it there for today. We've been streaming for about an hour 20. I think we got a lot done, actually. We hammered through combat entirely. I'm going to have to fix some things in it, probably, after I reread everything, but I'm glad, hopefully everyone enjoyed themselves. If you haven't followed, feel free to leave a follow. I try to stream every day. I've been meaning to get back on my regular schedule of streaming a bit earlier, however, with the end of days happening outside, that's been kind of difficult as I have become a vampire. So, c'est la vie. If you do feel like it, I do intend to upload all these videos to YouTube. Just Google up Notepad Anon on YouTube, and I'll be the first one. Look for the Notepad document, face man, and you should come across me. Let's see. I do have a website, notepadanon.wixsite.com/SPRUG workshop. That is my Wix site. Yes, definitely. And that's where I host all my games. If anything, go to the Game Design Guild. I guess that's what it's called now. Discord, and hit me up. I do have my own Discord. There is exactly one person in it outside of myself, and nothing is posted there of any remote use or value to anyone. So if you desire it, feel free to hit me up. I'll post it. However, if you don't feel pressured to. Again, thank you all for watching. It looks like there was, at peak here, around 4 or 5 people watching. Thanks. It means a lot to me. No one talked, but don't worry. You get used to that. You understand when you're a small streamer like me, as I have only 17 followers, including half of them being my friends who live here in the glorious burger land, and I understand it's very late for a lot of people. So, Godspeed and good luck. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day, and I will see you, hopefully, tomorrow. Alright. Sayonara.